Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to our Expedia Cruises Thursday night travel talk and happy belated New Year. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season, was able to stay safe and healthy, and hopefully be able to be with some friends and family. Tonight, our special guest will be Shauna Carter from AmaWaterways. We are now starting to do our travel talks every 2 weeks, and everyone on the call is muted. You have control of your video. If you'd like to put your picture up there, we'd love to see you. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat and we'll answer them after the presentation. So my name is Lisa Amflick. I'm one of the consultants at Expedia Cruises, and our travel talks are being hosted by the 6 Expedia Cruises locations in the Edmonton area. It has been a long road since March 2020 when the entire world changed. And I know if you're on this call, you enjoy traveling. You must miss it. Travel fulfills us. That's why we do it. And if you're like me, I am really missing it. At this time, we are all concerned about safety and health. And since December, Omicron has increased the number of COVID cases around the world. Even having that, people have started to travel, and cruising is still one of the safest ways to travel. Cruises are sailing today with some of the highest levels of COVID mitigation. The cruise industry is leading the ways with stringent health and safety measures. COVID safety protocols incorporate testing, vaccine, screening, sanitation, enhanced ventilation, mask wearing, physical distancing, and other proven health measures that are facilitating a responsible and safe return to sailing. I thought it was very interesting today. I heard that the positivity rate on aboard cruise ships is about 1% right now. And if you're in Alberta, the positivity rate in Alberta was about 40%. So have to check on which place is actually safer to go. There is a difference between traveling and planning travel. If you don't feel comfortable traveling at this moment, that is perfectly fine. It is, however, the right time to plan. Studies have shown that approximately 40% of the pleasure of a trip comes from planning one. At Expedia Cruises and all our offices, we've had people come back from cruises with raving reviews. They love the service. They love the staff. The staff were thrilled to have them. They felt extremely safe. They were thrilled to get back on board and experience the type of vacation that only a cruise can provide. What we have to keep in mind lately is that travel is going to be more complex. Now more than ever, the professional advice of a travel consultant is needed. And our consultants at Expedia Cruises are here to help you navigate the new complexities of travel and make sure your vacation is safe and seamless. I'm always amazed when people say they book their own vacations. I think there are things that I could do. I could pay my own taxes. I could change the oil in my car, but I prefer to leave those things to the expert. When you book with a travel agent, you will receive the expertise. There are hundreds of different cruise ships and cruise lines, and a travel consultant will be able to find the right one for you. Pricing, in terms of pricing, you will never pay less if you book directly with the cruise line. We have Expedia Extras. We have block group space on hundreds of sailings and can offer you better pricing and often many amenities such as shipboard credits that you would not receive if you booked on your own. We are here to help you with information regarding passports, visa, entry requirements, and more so now than ever is COVID protocols. What do you need if you want to travel? We are here to assist you in emergencies or when problems occur, we are here to help. And we have the ability to plan your entire vacation, so it's a one-stop shop. If you are ready to travel now, we are ready to help. In the past 2 years, it has been very, very challenging for all of us. And one of the things that makes me smile is the thought of where I want to go next. My bucket list is now a to-do list, and I can't wait to start traveling again. Time has passed, and like you, I have much to make up for. Whatever your dreams are at Expedia Cruises, our consultants can help make them come true. We are committed to helping you find the best value of your travel dollars. We are more than just cruises. We are air, land, and sea vacations. We can help you plan every component. Also, we are local. So I think there's a big hit now to shop local. We are in your neighborhoods. So please think of us when you're looking at travel. So right now I'd like to, what I'd like you to do is sit back and relax. and let's start planning the world and dreaming of your next vacation. I'd like to invite our special guest, Shauna Carter from AmaWaterways, to start this presentation. Welcome, Shauna.
Hello, hi everybody, and thank you so much, Lisa, and thank you, Expedia Cruises. We know more than ever that, as you said, whether you're planning or you're traveling, people are really interested in getting all the information about all the wonderful cruises that are available. And I was just telling the whole team before I came on the call that I have been attending our global sales meeting with our company. And so today we were reviewing 2021, and it was really interesting to hear the numbers because, out of our 24 ships, we had 21 ships sailing in 2021, and we operated 322 cruises. So people were definitely wanting to go. And, I really take my hat off to AmaWaterways for continuing our voyages, and to all of our wonderful consultants and travel partners at Expedia Cruises, because you had so many guests coming and traveling with us. But I think the biggest takeaway for me, and hopefully for all of you at home, is that more than ever, I'm sure you can really appreciate your travel consultant and all the work they've done on your behalf, whether you were traveling with us or on, another cruise line, or taking a land package, air, whatever it was. All the work these folks have done, is exceptional. They've put in many, many, many extra hours and looked after thousands of people who were traveling, especially back in 2020 when so many people were canceling and moving their cruises to 2021. Some of you had to move to 2022. So hopefully all of you booked for this year will still be able to travel. I know I'm very excited. I'll be leaving in about a week to go on a cruise, and I'm looking forward to getting back on board. And then also in April, I'm going to be sailing on our Nile cruise in Egypt. So lots to look forward to. And hopefully by the end of this evening, I'll be able to, entice you to come and at least look at all the different itineraries that are available to you, but also the possibilities. Whether, as I say, it's this year or next year, our entire lineup is available till the end of 2023. Right now, we're even working on 2024. But I should mention as well that right now, what we're seeing is that a lot of space is going very quickly in 2023. We're already actually quite booked up for 2022, believe it or not. And so if you're looking to go in the fall, don't delay, talk to your Expedia consultant, get booked now, take advantage of these promotions, because once things get rolling again, we know that the space and those promotions will disappear, and then you might not be going anywhere, or you'll be paying a higher price. So take advantage of those opportunities today. So we are very excited for 2022 because we are actually celebrating 20 years in business. And AmaWaterways is a family-owned company. We've been in business since 2002. So what better year to celebrate 20 years as we head into hopefully what will be a great traveling year for everybody. So where in the world can you go on a river cruise? Well, with AmaWaterways, you've got lots of choices. Of course, Europe being our biggest destination. And I always love to look at these maps because it really gives you a great sort of general overview of how much of Europe you can actually see by river. And, if we've learned anything in the last 2 years, we're finding that people are looking for even longer vacation stays because it takes a lot of work to get prepared for these trips today. You have to be very organized, you have to have your testing done. and have all your, ducks in a row, so to speak. And so people are saying, well, if we're going away, we're going to go away even longer. Plus, we haven't traveled for so long. We want to make up for, lost time. Some of you have been traveling already, and I'm sure you're anxious to get back out there. But when I'm talking this evening about some of these opportunities in terms of itineraries, I'll let you know where you can do back-to-back voyages, where you can have those longer stays, because as I say, there's so many different choices that you can put together, whether it's 7 nights, 14 nights. We even have a cruise, believe it or not, that's 47 nights long in Europe. They're saying, where can you go for 47 nights? Well, 14 countries, it's not hard to do. And anyhow, we also are on the Mekong in Vietnam and Cambodia. We're on the beautiful Chobe River in Africa. And then we just started this year in September, sailing our newest itinerary, and that's the Nile cruise in Egypt. So let's take a look at, river cruising in general. And just, a lot of people ask me, well, what do you love about river? And, I've worked in travel. I was trying to do the math the other day, 48 years or something. I've been in travel now. And, I've worked for ocean lines, I've worked for, airlines, and the list goes on, and loved them all. But when I came to river, I couldn't believe what a different experience it was in terms of what you see and being right in the destination. As you can see from this photo here, you really are immersed right in the destination. And so you have these lovely days where you sail along these rivers and you get to see so much beautiful scenery, but then you're always docking as well and spending time being in the destination. So it really is, very destinational, because you are spending so much of your time exploring these wonderful little cities and towns, and not just in Europe, but in all different parts of the world. Very small ships. Our ships in Europe are anywhere from 148 people to 160. And then we have our one beautiful big mama, the AmaMagna, at 190 guests. And I'll show you a look at her later on. But, intimate, relaxing, very comfortable, not, you don't have to get all dressed up. I mean, obviously you can if you want, but, we like to say country club casual, and just a very nice atmosphere, no crowds. You're docking right in the heart of these cities and towns. So you're not having to get onto coaches and go touring, or, if you're doing a land package, walk around on your own, find the train station, rent a car, whatever it might be. On a river cruise, you're just every day in a new place and really getting to just walk off the ship. You're right there and go exploring. And then, of course, there's all the wonderful tours that are included as well. Wonderful service and food on board as you float in these beautiful boutique style hotels. And, just a room with a view, and every room has a view. So, and of course, the water is always pretty much flat. You can see in this picture, it's pretty much always like this. So I don't want to make fun of our ocean friends, because ocean cruising is wonderful and it takes you to very different places. Oceans take you, to countries, and rivers take you through them. So they're very different experiences, and you can even do them back to back. But it is just very different. And as I say, right now, looking at the smallness of the ships and the smaller numbers, we're operating at about 50 to 70% capacity right now, just because we choose to keep everything doing, space and such. And of course, following all the protocols that we need to follow. So as you can see, here's our beautiful big AmaMagna. So she's actually twice the width of our other ships, and a beautiful ship. She can only sail on the Danube because that's the only river she can fit on. And she is just a beautiful ship. So one of a kind, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But as you can see, as the AmaMagna is coming into Passau here, literally docking right there at the heart of these towns and cities along the river. So I mentioned we are following protocols, of course, just like, you know, all our travel friends out there, all our, you know, the different companies that are out there. As Lisa said, it's probably safer to be on a ship right now when you look at the numbers around us and you know, having to stay at home. And, you know, I'm not going to go through all the protocols because they change every day. Like, they're constantly being updated. We follow everything that comes from the government. You know, so it's really important to check with your Expedia consultant, do your research, understand the advisories and the restrictions, but don't listen to what's on the media and stuff. Go to the government sites and see what they're talking about. And of course, we'll follow all of that. So we have that on our website as well. And you can see all the information for every country that we follow. So whatever they're requesting, of course, we are as well, because you couldn't even get into the country unless you were following those advisories. Our cruise managers on board, I really love that these folks, you know, they do an amazing job. It seems like they never sleep because they always seem to be available. They're always right there wherever you turn around a corner. And these folks are there really just to be, you know, your personal host for the whole time you're on board. They're going to make sure you know exactly where you're going, what you're doing, that you have the paperwork required should you need it. You know, that you know all the different tours that are available. And, you know, you might have questions about them. Oh, well, you know, that's the biggest complaint we get, is that we have so many choices that people don't know which tour to do. And so the cruise managers are great at just saying, well, you know, if you like this, take this one. And, you know, this is what would be happening on the other tour. And of course, answer any questions, help you with anything at all. And then there's our crew on board, right from our nautical team through the entire ship. They do everything every day with a smile. Let me tell you right now, they are so happy to be working. And of course, we just said goodnight to our last ships in Europe because it is the winter season, and we'll start sailing again about mid-March. So these folks have had, you know, since July to work on board and look after all our guests. And now they'll come back and join us in March, but they just do an amazing job. They very much become, you know, sort of a friend. They're like family. They're family to us for sure. And I know a lot of our guests come back saying, oh, you know, I email my cruise manager, I email the bartender. They have these relationships. If they come up to me at shows and stuff, they're telling me about all their friends on board. Do you know so-and-so? And I'm like, well, you probably know them better than I do. So it's really, really great to see that they do that. In terms of being connected while you're away with us, we have wonderful Wi-Fi on board. Of course, it's always included. Here's a funny tip. Well, it's not really a tip, it's just a fact, is that we spend more money on Wi-Fi than we do on fuel. Can you imagine that? So, and that's true. So, you know, you have great service on board, and then you also have the My Alma app, and you can download this before you travel. All the information for your cruise is on your app. You can download your photos, make postcards, send them out to all your, you know, friends and family, see every day where you are, have all the information you need at your fingertips on the app. So it's very, very handy. And, you know, when I was on the plane traveling, because I just did a cruise in September as well, you know, I was downloading everything and looking at everything. And this lady beside me on the plane said, oh, where are you going? So I was showing her on my app where I was going. She's like, oh, that looks wonderful. So it's a really, really handy app to have. And I think more and more people are using these types of apps, and so you can download it. And of course, if you want a paper copy, we can give you that as well. So in terms of what's included when you're on the ship with us, you know, we include all our tours. So as I said, there's plenty of choices every day, from 2 to 6 different choices, and they're all included. So you're not paying for optional tours. And we have biking tours, guided biking tours. Sometimes the bike tour might be 8 kilometers. Other times it could be 20+ kilometers. So there are details in terms of the tours to let you know how long they are. You can take the bikes on your own as well at any time. You can go hiking. We have specialty tours. Sometimes they might be culinary or historical, or as you can see here, wine. But really, every river cruise in Europe is a wine cruise because we're always in these incredible wine regions. And then there's all our walking tours where you walk with the guide, a local guide from the area. You have your quiet box. You can see them around the neck there. So you're connected by the earpiece to your guide. You just tap the lollipop. And then you don't have to stand right beside them to listen. Nice small groups. We have active walking, gentle walking, regular walking. You just let us know. And so you can see everybody here doing their walking tour. And then, as I say, take a bike and go on your own too if you want. We have helmets and locks. We do have wellness hosts on board our ships, also in Egypt. We have that, and the Mekong. And they're there, you're not paying for wellness classes or anything. They're included. They're there just to do, stretching, yoga, some moves, a walk. Sometimes they're on the hikes or the biking tours. And it's a great way to, start your day. This is a shot of the ship on the Rhone, I believe it is. And they're doing yoga here as the sun comes up. So what a great way to start your day. So in terms of the ships themselves, if you don't know that much about river cruising, and maybe you've never experienced it, they're long, they're narrow, because of course we're always going through locks. And then they're not very tall, of course, because we always have to sail under bridges. So you can see there's about 3 decks there of the ship. And up at the front is the big lounge, the big sun deck up top, where you're going to find the pool and all your sun loungers, whether you want to be in the sun or you want to be in some shade. You never have to fight for a chair. There's always lots of space available, and you'll come into the reception area, of course. We do have elevators on our ships that move throughout the staterooms, but they don't go up to the sun deck, just on the Ama Magna. But they can take you from staterooms to the dining room and the lounge, of course. And our reception team is there to look after you. You can also go up there, grab some postcards. We have tons of postcards on the ship. You just take as many as you want, write them out if you want, and we'll mail them for you for free. So it's a great way to make your friends jealous, send them a card, look at where we are, you should have come and joined us, sort of thing. We have beautiful accommodations and everything to suit your needs, whether you're traveling with friends and family or on your own. We have solo staterooms. We have single supplement offers for our solo travelers, suites, twin balconies, French balconies. And then, of course, we do have some staterooms that are connecting. So if you're a family, or perhaps you're a couple traveling with parents or what have you, then you can do a connecting stateroom. And triple and quad accommodation. And our lead-in category, of course, is window. But no matter what you choose, they all have a view, and they're all very comfortable. So when you come into our beautiful lounge, this is where you can find, now today, we are no longer allowing any self-service. Oh, what a shame. Everything has to be served to you. It was very nice, let me tell you. So, if you'd like tea or iced tea or coffee or a cappuccino, you just ask one of the servers and they'll bring it to you right away. If you want cookies or snacks, or in the afternoon, some hors d'oeuvres, just ask. We can also do light lunches up here and a really early light breakfast up here. And so again, you'll just ask the servers. And then in the evening, you can come into the lounge bar area here. And for an hour before dinner, we have a wonderful happy hour. So you can have whatever, drink you'd like, wine, beer, martini. We have a drink of the day. And of course, that's all complimentary. Now, we also have, when you come into the dining room for dinner, we'll also have sparkling wine at breakfast. We will have wonderful wines for lunch and dinner, as well as beer and soft drinks, all complimentary, as much as you'd like. And the wines are really lovely because they're from the regions that we're sailing through. So a really lovely selection of whites and reds, and we usually have rosés as well. And then we change the wines daily. So you're always trying these different varietals from these different regions. It's really nice and very good wines. We have our wonderful chef's table. We have beautiful food, everything served to you, no buffets whatsoever. Everything is served to you. So, before we'd have the opportunity to have, a basket of bread on the table and maybe some appetizers and stuff that would come out. Now we make one for every guest in the dining room. So everybody gets their own little board with, little appetizers and your different butters and breads and everything. So it's very nice. And we can cater to all dietary needs. If you're celiac, gluten-free, what have you, not to worry. We could do a whole celiac cruise. Like, we have everything gluten-free you can imagine. So it's wonderful. There you can see the dining room, and typically we have open dining, but right now we're assigning dining so that you're having dinner with the people that you're traveling with. Now, how that will look by the time we start sailing again, I don't know. I'm just going by what we were doing while we were sailing. And when we start that again in March of this year, of course, we'll follow all the proper protocols. And so I'm assuming we'll carry on with that. The beautiful chef's table. This is our alternative dining experience that you get to try one time during your week on board with us. And it's a tasting menu. It's beautiful, different wines. You just make your reservation on board. And of course, it is complimentary. So now coming back and looking at those itineraries. So I was mentioning that, we have 7-night itineraries. We have a few longer itineraries, but really what we're seeing is a lot of people putting cruises back to back, or perhaps they're doing the Rhine, then doing a little traveling, and then they're going on the Danube. And the nice thing about doing back-to-back cruises with us is when you do that, you get 10% off your second cruise. So you'll get whatever your price is and an additional 10% off. So you get that extra savings. And you can create your own itinerary, whatever it is you're looking to see. Of course, the Rhine and the Danube are probably the two most popular itineraries. And rather than go through them all, I'm just going to give you some highlights of the itineraries. Otherwise, I'd have you here for hours as I go through all of these. But the Rhine is that, excuse me, that beautiful itinerary coming Amsterdam to Basel or reverse. Some of them include an extra journey down the Moselle. And of course, out of Amsterdam, you can also do Tulip time, but you'd be on the waterways of Holland. You'd sort of be over in this area here for Tulip time. But it's a wonderful cruise. You can go in either direction. The Rhine Gorge, known for the castles and the beauty along there. Let me just show you some of the things you'll see. So starting or ending in Amsterdam, the Venice of the North with these beautiful canals. The whole city is just full of canals, and you'll overnight there. So on every cruise, your first night and your last night are in your cities. You're overnight in the cities you embark and disembark in. So that's really lovely for, in terms of connecting or coming in and getting on the ship, but also just giving you that extra time in these really unique and historical cities. Cologne, of course, along the river, or Cologne, as they would say over there, with the beautiful Cologne Cathedral in the background with the two tiers, the spires there behind you. And then the Rhine Gorge, this beautiful scenic afternoon. It's really a special day because there is so much beauty through this gorge. You'll see so many different castles. We even give you a castle map so you can follow along and see all the different castles. Stops in Heidelberg, will be in Strasbourg. So you're kind of going from France to Germany, down to Switzerland, and from out of Amsterdam as well. And then here's the beautiful city of Basel. So just some really quick highlights. The Moselle and the Main. So here's your Rhine here, but the Moselle and the Main go this way. I think the Moselle, which is this little small river here, is probably one of the most beautiful rivers in Europe. And as I say, you can combine that in a true experience on the Rhine as well. And again, you'll see the vineyards, very big wine country here, as is most of Europe, but lots of beautiful castles. So whether it's Kokum or Bern Castle or Bamberg, you'll see some beautiful UNESCO sites, lots of history, wine, food, excuse me, for example, here in Bamberg, they had a huge fire a long time ago. And so all their beer turned really smoky. So now they have this smoky beer. They actually smoke it on purpose and they drink this with sausages. So you'll get to try that smoky beer and wine, of course, and just walk around these beautiful, iconic towns. Now, when we come over, remember I mentioned you can come up into Holland and see the Tulip Time, our Tulip Time cruise, which of course is during Tulip Time, which is March till about the beginning of May. We also have a cruise that does the best of Holland and Belgium, and it's really a beautiful part. You could actually combine this with a Rhine cruise, because when you're here, you are not sailing on the Rhine. And you can see we have 2 different itineraries with very different dates, not all through the year. This is sort of limited dates, as I mentioned, for Tulip Time and also the best of Holland, but a beautiful combination to any Rhine cruise. And in 2022, we have the Floriade, this world exposition of flowers and everything you can imagine. It's a huge expo. It only comes in every 10 years, and every cruise from April to October that begins or ends in Amsterdam, you'll get to go and see the Floriade. And here's the gardens and the tulip fields out here. It's like a sea of color when you go over there for Tulip Time. It's really quite amazing. And of course, all the windmills there. And coming in and seeing Brussels and Bruges, these beautiful historic cities. Lots of, World War II history and stuff here as well. So throughout many areas of Europe, of course. And then Bruges, which is this really pretty city. So now we come down to the Danube, and, the Rhine flows down and eventually through the Main-Danube Canal becomes the Danube. This is the longest river in Europe. And there are several different itineraries on the Danube alone. So this is something where if you really don't know what you want to see in Europe, the best thing I can tell you is to just sit down with your Expedia consultant and talk about the things you want to see and what you want to do. What history do you want to explore? What countries are you interested in visiting? Because, there's so many different choices, it's hard to narrow it down. So they can certainly help you with that. And, I'm always available to meet with your Expedia consultant as well. We can have a little chat and talk about all these incredible different itineraries. So talk about iconic cities here you have, and capital cities as well. Budapest in Hungary, you have Bratislava in Slovakia, and then Vienna in Austria. So you really get to see so much. And if you carry on and keep going all the way down the Danube towards Bucharest, then of course you have many more cities as well. So you can see the 3 different itineraries. Romantic Danube, the Gems is the lower part of the Danube, as I mentioned. So one would go Budapest to Vilshofen or reverse, and the Gems would go Budapest to Bucharest or reversed. So if you couldn't decide, you can actually do both. This is a true 14-night cruise. So you're on the ship 14 nights, sailing the entire Danube. And if you do that, you go through like 9 countries. And then you can go to Istanbul and add a 10th. So, you really can see so much by sailing on the Danube. And you can add Prague to these itineraries as well. We even have a Munich package, but I mean, Prague, you got to go to Prague. It's such a great, great city. We have our own Oktoberfest. We have our own Oktoberfest tent right on our ship in Vilshofen. So that's really fun. So it doesn't have to be October when you come with us. We have it going through our entire sailing season. Even at Christmas markets time, we're still doing our Oktoberfest. So here we are going through the Waiver Valley, and we're heading, well, it depends which direction you're going, but you can see this incredible wine region. There's Dürnstein. Here's Vienna. Of course, the Lipizan stallions are here as well as so much more. Bratislava. This city is very unique because you have the old historic part right there where we dock, and then just maybe half a mile down the road is all the new city. So if you want to do shopping and stuff, you can go down there. But I always love to stay in the historical old part of these cities and towns because that's where the history is. I love watching the people and trying the food. but you often have in the bigger cities a choice of seeing old and some of the new as well. My very, very, very favorite city, well, maybe aside from Paris, is Budapest. And here we are coming, into by the Parliament buildings and the incredible chain bridge in the background there. It's just an amazing city, and you must spend more time here. Whether you begin or end your journey there, spend more time. So in September, I just sailed this itinerary where you leave Budapest and go down to Bucharest. And here we're coming through the Iron Gates Gorge. This is one of the deepest gorges along the Danube. King Decebulus is up there carved into the hill. Lots of very, very different history as you go through Romania, Serbia, Bulgaria, so many different countries, 5 different countries as you come down to Romania. This is Belogradchik, I believe. I'm sorry, my little things there. Yeah, in Bulgaria, this is a really cool area to hike, and we dock right there, and you can come out and hike through this old sort of fortress that's built right into the stone. And this is at the entrance before you go into the Iron Gates Gorge area. So very different. So let's see what's next here. Oh, this is a very interesting building in Bucharest. This is their government building, and it's the largest government building in the world, second to the Pentagon. And so I stood right there and looked at this building. It's amazing. It's huge. It's so heavy. It is sinking into the ground. I'm like, oh, 100 years from now, I wonder if it'll even be there. So, but there's more to that story. But, these are the kind of things you get to see. Now, let's just talk quickly about the beautiful country of France. Oh my gosh, so much to see in France. And all of these itineraries you can do back to back. You could spend 21 days just touring around France on river ships and really seeing north, south, west, everything. And if you love wine and cheese and food, well, there's no other country. Well, maybe Italy, but I think France has overtaken them with all the selections because they have lots of history there as well. Cheese galore. Just amazing country. So, we have the impressions of the Seine, and we have Paris and Normandy. And a lot of people think of the beaches of Normandy as Normandy just being at the beaches, but Normandy is that entire region. So as soon as you're about 25 miles or 25 kilometers maybe out of Paris, you are in Normandy. That is that region. It's not really a wine region, but it's definitely a cheese region, but lots of history and art history. And then, of course, the history of the beaches of Normandy, and then the area of Mont Saint-Michel and Saint-Malo, which you would go and see before or after. And because our ship's a little smaller on this river, we're able to sail right in and out of Paris. So at night, last night, if you're doing round trip, you're right there watching the Eiffel Tower. It's amazing. So this is the Seine up in the north. There's Paris, the Normandy beaches, one of the beaches there. There's several other ones, Canadian, US, the British. So if you're Canadian, you go to the Canadian beach. And if you're American, we take you to the American beaches. And of course, being able to see, the gardens here for Giverny, for Monet. He's buried here as well. His museum's here. Look at just look at the background. You can only imagine, where he got his inspiration for painting and such. But there's St. Malo. I mentioned the coast of Normandy there. This is where you can see that, and Mont Saint-Michel, and so much more. So down in the south, of course, this is the Rhone and the Saône. Yes, they rhyme, but they are actually 2 different rivers. So at the beautiful city of Lyon, which is the culinary capital of the world, you go up, and then you have the Saône, and you go down, and you have the Rhone. So 2 beautiful different 7-night itineraries, lots of art, chocolate, truffles, wine, cheese, history, you name it, lots of Roman history. So much to see here. I would actually do them both, do them back to back, because you see different things, and then you get some repeat of some of the cities, but who cares? You could go to these cities 5, 10 times and never see everything. It's so wonderful to have even more time. These are just 7-night itineraries. So that's Colors of Provence and the Essence of Burgundy in Provence. Here you can see just outside of Beaune, the beautiful Burgundy wine countryside. Beautiful wines here. There's Lyon. And we dock just on the other side. This is like an island in the middle here, and the river's on either side. And we just dock right over there. So you can be walking all through this beautiful city. Avion, there's the famous Avion Bridge. And the original papal palace in the background there, the beautiful church at the center of this city. And a wonderful city to walk around. We dock just very close to the bridge here. And so much you can see Pont de Gare from here, the old Roman aqueducts, truffles, everything. The list goes on. And then Arles at sort of the foot, at the very bottom of the Rhone, very close to Marseille, is Arles with its old Roman. You can see the old Roman Colosseum where they have happy, gentle bullfights, no killing of bulls. And the old, I've forgotten the word now, but anyway, down here you can see it, and you can sit there and they do concerts and stuff, and it's just amazing. I had the word in my head and now it's gone, but anyhow, great walking city, markets, shopping, you name it. And over in the west is the beautiful city of Bordeaux. This is the king of wines over here in Bordeaux region. The rest of France probably wouldn't appreciate that, but I think Bordeaux is pretty special for wine, and a really, really lovely itinerary. Gorgeous city. We're docked right on the promenade of this wonderful city. It's very relaxing, so much to see. Saint-Emilion, this lovely wine with the church buried underground, and so much more. And then Portugal on the gorgeous Douro. I mean, where do you begin? I don't know. There's just so many different choices here. And, this was a wonderful way for me to see Lisbon, to come up and sail on the Douro and see Portugal. I couldn't believe how good the wines were. I knew they would be great for port, but their wines and their Vinho Verde, the green wine, it's not green, it just means green in terms of young wine, not a green wine, but it's called Vinho Verde. Everything so good. And again, so much to see. This one's really super relaxing though. And the entire river valley, there's the city of Porto. Beautiful, just colorful like that. We came down the hill on the bus and there it was. And I just was like, oh, can't believe it's that beautiful. And there's the Atlantic out to the left there. And then there's the Douro. Look how gorgeous this is. Just hillside slopes of winery, just all along the Douro, this beautiful UNESCO protected river. It's really quite spectacular. So remember I mentioned we can do back to back. You have those savings. So again, there's about 290 choices of back-to-back. So I can't even begin to tell you them all. But again, talk to your Expedia consultant. They can help you put together exactly what you're looking for. But for the ultimate long time river cruise, we have our 7-river journey. Now, back in 2020, when we were, COVID was first starting, we had time to think about what was going to happen. And we knew that people, by the time we all started traveling, would be looking for a longer experience. And so many people wanted to see, like I said earlier, they couldn't narrow down which river to sail on. Which one do we go to? This one. So we created 7-river journey, 46 days long, through all these different countries. We launched it for the spring of 2023, sold out. So we launched another one in June. It sold out. Now this is the 3rd one, which starts in August. So if you are interested in, if you love world cruising, if you really want to get away, this will be August. And I think this will actually be the best one, because August to October is such a beautiful time to be in Europe. Look at the colors, like you're just going to see this beautiful, amazing scenery. And as I say, 46 nights, 14 countries, 7 rivers, all one journey on 3 different ships. And in between, there's no nights in between or anything. There's only 2 times you actually transfer between the second and third ship, obviously. And no overnights. We take you right to the ship. The first one's a train journey where we take care of everything. It's about 2.5 hours. The next one's maybe 40 minutes long as you go from Nuremberg to Vilshofen. So nice and easy. And look how much you're going to see. You're going to see some of Holland and Belgium. You're going to see the Rhine. You're going to be sailing on the Danube. You're going to go all the way to Bucharest too. So you get that whole span from Amsterdam to Bucharest. Can you imagine? So this beautiful journey, as I say, starts October 24th, 2023. Reach out to Expedia to find out more. I mentioned earlier the big Ama Magna, our mama ship, mama of the fleet, twice as wide as all our other ships, but only 30 more guests. So if you're the type of person that loves to cruise in big suites, you know, maybe you sail on, you know, Regent or Silver Sea or Seabourn, and you like those big suites, this is the ship for you. I mean, all our ships are beautiful. I had to show you this to give you a sense of the size. That ship beside us is a competitor ship. I won't say who, and they carry 190 guests. And here's our Alma Magna carrying 190 guests. So of course, the main difference is that all the rooms are very large, and you have more choices in dining rooms and lounges. There's a movie theater, there's a huge spa and a gym, and you can do spinning, and the list goes on. But look at these beautiful suites, 355 square feet. You have a separate bathroom, separate toilets, separate entry, lots of storage space, a big balcony out there. And we have bigger suites than this too. And we even have some window staterooms, but they're still quite large as well. 250 square feet for a window stateroom. So this would be the ship for you. And she only sails on the Danube. So no other rivers. Now, if you're a solo traveler, you have a few choices. We do have 4 ships that actually have solo staterooms, so no supplement. They're all in France because there are smaller ships, but on all our other Europe ships, we do have in the window stateroom categories, which are nice and, you know, 170 square feet, 25% single supplement. So better than paying double, that's for sure. And on some of our dates, we do have 25% in bigger staterooms, but that's only on select dates, whereas this one is on any date for Europe and the Mekong. So now as I get close to ending, because tonight was really all about Europe, I just want to quickly mention our exotic itineraries, because maybe one night we can do, you know, another presentation and talk about these wonderful parts of the world. But our Mekong cruise right now, Vietnam and Cambodia, we're hoping to start sailing there again in the fall. We have a wonderful package so that you can see more than just the river, even though the river is just fantastic. 7-night river cruise, but you can add in Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, spend more time in Siem Reap to see those beautiful temples, and even overnight in Halong Bay on a beautiful ship that we have in that part of the world for that UNESCO site. Really spectacular. I've done it twice, either direction, both directions, I mean. Loved it. I would go back again and again. So a really wonderful program there. And there's our Amadara. I miss her already. I'd really love to go back. So now something else to keep in mind for Europe and the Mekong, you know, if you're going to be traveling, you are going to be talking to Expedia about insurance. You should not be going anywhere today without insurance. They can get you fully protected. You can get, you know, your COVID protection, everything. We have a program called Travel Waiver Plus. This is not insurance. This is just sort of a peace of mind program where you can purchase it for 2022 up until final payment or at time of deposit, and for 2023 at time of deposit. Now, unfortunately, you cannot buy this for the 7-river journey. It's not included for that cruise, but for all our other Europe and Mekong cruises, you can. And what it does is it just allows you to cancel for any reason whatsoever up to 31 days prior. and anything that might be in penalty, we'll give you a future cruise credit, and the rest we would refund to you. So it's just sort of a protection backup plan. And again, I'll leave that up to you to discuss with your Expedia consultant. On another note, our wonderful Africa program, which is still sailing right now. We've got people on board right now there and in the Nile on the Zambezi Queen. This is a pretty amazing journey too. I loved it. The animals, you know, what can you say about animals when you see them living in the wild? But the Zambezi Queen, this is a 4-night river cruise that combines with a whole host of other little packages. But spending 4 nights on the Chobe River, it's like taking a safari on water, because we go into safari boats, and you know, you can see the Chobe there right at the corner of Zambia, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, right in the corner near Victoria Falls. It's only about, well, you can see 50 miles from Victoria Falls. Largest migration of elephants in the world. Let me tell you, all those little dark spots on the screen in the river, those are elephants. And when I came around the corner one time on a little boat, I was like, oh my goodness, they were just everywhere. They were right there. And it's a very unique experience there. You can see we're doing some of our safari exploring. And then we also go by Jeep one day, but most of it you're on the water. And then all the animals are coming to you. You're not on land trying to find them. They're coming to the water to drink. So it's an amazing experience. We do it with Victoria Falls and Cape Town and Johannesburg. And we have safaris, and we even do gorilla trekking in Rwanda. So that's our Africa program. And then my very favorite, which I'm very excited, as I said, to be going on in about 3 months, is our new Nile cruise in Egypt. Along with, we have packages in Dubai, Israel, Jordan, and then we have our Nile package, which combines 4 nights in Cairo, so that you can see so much there. And I'm not going to go into great detail because I have so many pictures, but we use the 4 seasons in Cairo. You'll have 4 nights there. We're right along the river in the heart of the city there. And you'll see King Tut in the Egyptian Museum. You'll see the pyramids, you'll see the Great Sphinx, and so much more as we travel with our Egyptologists. Here's our beautiful Amadalia. I can't wait to get on board. And she sails the Nile for 7 nights as we go exploring and see out of Luxor. We fly to Luxor and seeing so much, like Queen Nefertari's tomb, one of the most beautiful colorful tombs. And we have an exclusive visit there. All the tours are included. There's Aswan as we take a felucca boat and sail on the Nile, and so much more. Now, here's our big news. We are starting a brand new program at the very end of December 2023, which will be year-round in Colombia, sailing on the Magdalena River. We're very excited about this. So the new ship will be called, what else? The AmaMagdalena. And as I say, it'll be a very environmentally friendly ship, small ship, probably around the same size as our Egypt one, maybe 60 guests. And we'll have some packaging to go with that as well. So stay tuned, reach out to Expedia if you're interested, because I think it's going to be quite an amazing program when we get it together. So anyhow, let's go back to Lisa, and we can hopefully answer some questions.
Thank you, Shauna. I have to say I've been fortunate enough to have sailed some of the AmaWaterways itineraries. You brought back many memories for me. And really, I want to pack my suitcase and get going, because just the thought of travel again is so inviting. So there are some questions. Thank you for talking about your Travel Waiver Plus, because I do think that people want flexibility and they want to know that their investment is protected. So knowing that they can cancel up to that 31 days really makes the difference. The other thing I think people really want to know about is safety, and you touched on it a little bit in terms of the health and protocols, but I just want to kind of reiterate, everybody has to be vaccinated to go.
Yeah.
and all the staff is vaccinated.
All our crew are 100% vaccinated, and the nautical team. Anybody
Okay.
on the ship is vaccinated. All our guests coming on board, of course, would have to be fully vaccinated. Right now, the booster thing is, some countries have it, some don't. Not too many right now, but you couldn't even get to our ship unless you were vaccinated anyway. So, and we're pretty much, we cater to the North American market. But if somebody was coming from a country over there, yes, of course, they still have to be fully vaccinated.
Okay, so we've got the safety, we've got the flexibility. There's a question, golf themed cruises.
Yes, so, I'm of two thoughts when it comes to golf programs with, and it's funny because we have a full golf program with the AmaMagna. You can do 2 nights, 3 or not nights, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, up to 5 days of golf with us. But really, if you're going to take a river cruise where you go along the rivers and see so much every day, and you're going to go off golfing every day, you're never going to be able to do and see all the things that we offer. And if you're okay with that, we're okay with that. And you could do that on the AmaMagna for sure. But what I would probably do for all the other cruises is take a golf holiday, go to Scotland, go to wherever, go golf, and then come take a river cruise. I wouldn't really try to combine them because you would never be able to do all the things and see all the things that we do if you're off, because golfing's a full day affair. So as I say, if you're okay with that and you would like to just sail along with us, we're happy to have you.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because on the river cruises that I've been on, my biggest problem has been, which tour do I choose? So there's so much choices, whether I want to do a walking tour or a biking tour or a wine tour. So there is so much to do. If you want to golf, that's okay, but you will be missing out on some other things. Question, best river for a first river cruise?
Well, excuse me, allergy season. So in terms of your first river cruise, if you've never done a river cruise at all, I always say probably start with the Rhine or the Danube, just because they really represent what we really think about with river cruising, sailing through these little towns and cities. There's so much right there along the river, lots of scenery. I mean, Portugal is very specific, as is France. So Rhine or Danube, people always say, what's your favorite? I'm like, oh gosh. So usually I say, okay, well, my favorite for Christmas markets is the Rhine, and my favorite is for summer or other times is the Danube, but they're both equally beautiful. It really depends on, what people are looking for, what cities they want to see, food, wine, stuff like that too, what they're interested in. Those two itineraries would also have lots of biking. Like, you can't bike in Portugal because it's all hills. You can, because we have a partnership with Backroads, and they do a biking program. But I would say the Rhine and Danube are probably your best first time experiences. But do them back to back. Do a France and a Rhine, or a Danube and a Rhine, and see a little bit of everything.
So many choices and so much to make up for. Traveling, I just want to let everybody know, traveling is starting. It is, whether you want to travel now or you want to leave it for a little while, it is still time to think. And I have to share with Shauna and with the rest of you that I was actually looking for somebody for Portugal for the fall of 2022, and there was no space. Shouldn't say that. There was no balconies. The client was specific about wanting a balcony, and there were no balconies available for 2022. So he's going to have to look at 2023. So we're not lying to you when we say that the pent-up demand is there. People are booking well in advance. We've all lost a lot of vacation time. We've lost a lot of memory building. So it's time to start thinking about where you want to go. I do thank all of you for joining us. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your past travels, and we truly look forward to helping you plan your future vacation. Please reach out to your consultants. We are here to answer all the questions and help you start planning and navigating traveling again. Reminder to watch us on, follow us on Facebook, check out our YouTube channel. This and all of our other presentations are recorded there. Next week, 2 weeks, our travel talk on Thursday, January 27th will be celebrity cruises, focusing on modern luxury cruising. So thank you again for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Drive carefully tomorrow. It's going to be slippery. And when you go to sleep tonight, think about where you may want to take your next trip. And we look forward to hearing from you in the future. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for letting me join you today. And all of us at AmaWaterways wish you a great 2022. Stay safe. And we'd love to have you come and sail with us. Bye. Thank you, Expedia.
Bye-bye, Sean.